now. And so I'm thinking long term. The speculator needs a quick flip. And so Bitcoin is never really been about investing. It's a speculation. It's a short-term play. No one bought that and said, in 20 years, this is going to look brilliant.
Yeah.
No one did. They all thought quick money.
And here you have Dave Ramsey. Sorry, Dave, we have to agree to disagree, because if anybody's held Bitcoin over a 5-year, 10-year window, it has drastically outpaced the depreciation of the US dollar. So we do not agree here, Dave. Be careful who you listen to. What's happening, Crypto Crew? Sean's coming back at you, another cryptocurrency video. We're not wasting too much time. We're getting straight into it. Taking a look at the Bitcoin price chart at the current time that's recording, we're looking at 64,000. Now, when you see this, the price could be substantially more or less, but what do we see? What do we anticipate? Now, right now, this is on the daily chart, and we've been seeing some exhaustion around this $73,000 range. Bitcoin just can't get above. We see the momentum oscillator has bottomed out, and right now the RSI is bottomed out here back in August of 23, then topped out. But let's draw some horizontals on this to see what we see, to see if we can make any sense of any of this. We had a top out position right here around the 87 range, and then we had a base that was established right here back in January of this year around the 35 range. So if history's any indication, we can look at these ranges and compare them. So we topped out, came back and bottomed out. Look what happened to the price action. We were above the 20 moving average and came back below it and got back above it. So people could think that this area here, we could see some lower price action due to the price getting below the 20 moving average, but look what happened. We then came up and topped back out again and put in a higher high. And since then, what's happened? We came and put a low in, we got back below this here. And look, we didn't get back up to the peak just yet. So is this the divergence? Right now, Bitcoin is at a pivotal point, because you see, we are back down to this range, this 35 range, and we are back below the 20 moving average. So this isn't indicative of the next move, but we have to wait and see if this level holds. The stochastic RSI is extremely oversold. The RSI is in oversold territory, and Bitcoin is in the territory it was before, once and twice before this upwards rally continued. So will this get a breakup to the upside, or will we have a breakdown of this RSI and also the price action? You be the judge. Total 3 is looking pretty similar. Put in higher highs and higher lows at a very pivotal point. Although below this 20 moving average, could this act just like the Bitcoin price does? Well, if it does, and we get back above the 20 moving average and we come back up to this $1 trillion mark, the previous resistance, this would be a take profit level. Now, if this doesn't hold and we come back and flip this to support to resistance, have a continuation, we could see this come back down to a lower level. No guarantee, but we have to be patient and wait. Tech Dev is weighing in, and he's seeing bullishness. The first 4-week parabolic money flow signal on Bitcoin since 2017. So look here. Back in 2012, we seen this. What happened? Blast off. 2017, seen this. Blast off. Look what just happened. Is a blast off about to come? If history's any indication, that's around the corner. But Michael Saylor's talking about the global demand for Bitcoin. Things are changing in the system, and Michael Saylor is at the forefront of the Fortune 100, Fortune 500 institutions accumulating Bitcoin on their balance sheet. Let's hear the latest from Michael.
Bitcoin insight is restricted to those with a need to know.
Love that rule.
When you have a need to know, when you have a crisis, if your country is in crisis, if your company is in crisis, if your family is in crisis, when the bank freezes and fails and the currency crashes and you have a business or you have a life and you're in that culture, you have a need to know, your eyes are open. Now you start to take Bitcoin seriously. Now you adopt Bitcoin. Trump has discovered Bitcoin. Trump has a need to know. Right? El Salvador, their currency crashed. They had a need to know. I think people in countries like Lebanon, right, they don't have a reliable banking system. They have a need to know. In places where the society is affluent and the leaders are affluent and they feel comfortable and they don't feel threatened or challenged, if they're comfortable in their political standing, if they're not afraid of being driven out of office, they don't have a need to know. If they're not insecure about their currency, if they're not insecure about their banks, they don't have a need to know. Right? In those cases, they'll be the last to embrace Bitcoin or to appreciate it because they don't have a need to know. But the world's full of places where you do have a need to know. And it's not just places, but it's peoples, right? The minority out of power, right, who are disenfranchised, who are disinherited, right? They used to say about America, right? Who settled in America? It was the second sons. It was the second son settled in America. The first son inherited the family estate in Europe, and the second son wasn't going to inherit anything. And so if the second son wanted property, a future, hope, they got on a ship, they crossed the ocean at great peril to themselves because there was an entire continent where they might actually get a start and they might have a chance. The second sons had a need to know. And I think Bitcoin is a great equalizer in that regard. You know, the wealthy, affluent, comfortable won't have a need to know. They will be blind to it. And those who are disenfranchised, who are looking for a better future, they are the hopeful ones, but they're also the seekers, the searchers, right? They're going to look, they're going to find it. They are finding it. Hundreds of millions are finding it. They'll embrace it. They'll benefit from it. The rest of the world over time will discover it when they have a need to know.
And there you have it from Michael Saylor. Have you had your opportunity where you have had a need to know? Probably so, because you're watching this video, but as we say, the whole world will discover it when they discover it. And right now, we're still in the early adopter phase, but there's a lot more upside versus downside to Bitcoin over the next 5-10 years. So make sure you keep all that in mind. And with that, I'm Sean with the Bitcoin Bros. If you guys like this content, go ahead and smash the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and show us some love. We appreciate the support. With that, that's all I have for you today, and I'm out.